Hi guys, welcome back. We're doing another collective reading. We're doing a loved one. You guys know the thumbnail title or the subject of the video. I pulled the first card to see what energy we're tapping into, and I'm already like, you already know that I don't pre-pick any of these cards because we're starting off with the third party card. This is the energy. The card itself talks about there were other things that got in the way of us being together. I cannot escape this. This is like haunting me and I want to get rid of this energy, but you know, I can only go by what I get. So that's the card. It jumped out. We had a jumper. So that is what the masculine energy collective is thinking about. Like, what's the energy about that? So this time, I think last week, it was more about them being worried about you. And now this week, it feels more like the table has turned and they're finally facing the mirror that whatever they were projecting onto you is now being reflected back to them. That they were the ones, like it's kind of not being able to escape the reality that it was them who had the third party, but they were trying to push it onto you, whether it was to make themselves feel better, whether it was just, you know, to deny and I don't know, you know, whatever the case may be, that's what came out. That was the card. So it does seem like I don't know, there's kind of like a little bit of a hermit energy now, a little bit of that Seven of Swords, maybe calling judgment on themselves. But they are, and the card says there were other things that got in the way of us being together. And now it's them taking that look back, them not trying to blame you any longer, them accepting the reality that this was on them. Soul contract, the lessons I learned from us will never be forgotten. So, you know, whether this was just energy, the lessons that they learned, sorry, as I shuffle, also shuffling, the lessons that they have learned, whether it is because things are coming to an end, maybe they believe things are coming to an end, or that they're just kind of like, there's things that I have learned because of this. There just seems to be quite a bit of this introspective kind of energy going within, even though they weren't trying to, because last week it wasn't that. It was more like they were afraid of losing you or thinking that you were, you know, kind of messing around pretty much. And now this week, they're like, well, there's lessons I've learned, and okay, maybe I had something to do with it. Maybe it was more me. Let's get into the tarot for a sec and see what comes out. The Four of Cups, yeah, they're disappointed. I think they were just trying to avoid it for so long, trying to avoid that it was them, that they had any wrongdoing in this, that, oh no, it was you. You're the one who made me do this. You're the one who pushed me to do that. Or, you know, it just... it's not the kind of energy I like, so yeah, but their energy is disappointment, and they have no one to blame but themselves is what they're realizing and what they're starting to understand. We have the Five of Cups, so we go from the Four to the Five of Cups, very much in their emotions. I think they had that reality check. They can only escape the truth for so long, right, before it catches up or karma shows up at their door and is like, hey, it wasn't them, it was you. So, you know, it's not where they can push that onto you anymore. It seems like you were the scapegoat, and no more. And now it's left them pretty brokenhearted and upset, and because they know that, you know, when I go back to the lessons card, sorry, I'm looking at it and it just feels like they know that there was this, oh, what's the word? I can't even think of the word. I'll just settle with immaturity. Like there was some immaturity on their part for everything, because when they look back at how you treated them, you really didn't deserve it. You know, you didn't deserve that. And so that's where that guilt came from, because they know they weren't in that same level of energy and giving back to you in that same kind of a way that you were. They were just not, they were just kind of doing whatever felt good to them, to be honest. So we have a reunion card, and this is going to be, you know, of course, up to you guys. If it is something that Have they truly learned these lessons that they mention in this soul contract card? Is it where they're going to come back with corrected behavior and mindset and how they treat you and how they look at the connection? Or is it just, something to get you back, have you back into their lives? That's what I'm seeing with the Six of Cups card. So there is that desire. We're progressing. We've gone from 4 to the 5 to the Six of Cups here. 4, 5, 6. So maybe that's something you guys have been seeing. Take that as another confirmation coming through. But I think your person is now like, if I want this, I'm going to be the one who has to, because they're not going to do it. And I don't know if we mentioned that in the last one, where they might have wanted you to like start everything, right? And to begin that process of reconnecting, but they were like, no. And now it's like all of a sudden, no cups. We have the Seven of Wands. And so this is just, they're defensive. To be honest, it's like they want this, right? The Six of Cups, that is the reunion, that is a reconciliation. But then we have the Seven of Wands. So it's like they're unsure. It's really what it's screaming. It's screaming they're unsure, they're undecided, they're uncertain. Really what I'm getting with the Seven of Wands is them being defensive, being guarded. I think even if they were to come to you right now, and even though they know that they did wrong, that they allowed things to get in the way, they're not in that energy of being open and welcoming to more. So if for whatever reason you were to reach out to them, you wouldn't get the Five of Cups. You would get the Mask, maybe like Seven of Swords type of an energy, or Emperor. Like you really wouldn't be able to read them. I think they would be very cold and distant is the energy, because they are having to take this hit to their ego, but they're not crazy about you guys. They're not crazy about this whatsoever. So yeah, they're sad and they're hurt because like, okay, like I said, they could only run from the truth for so long, and it finally caught up to them. But they're still defensive. They're still defensive over this. So now I wanted to see what they're thinking, because we have an idea, right? But what are they thinking specifically? We have regret. And whether they wish none of this ever happened with you specifically, I don't think so. I think it's more so that Four of Cups, that disappointment in themselves, having to really face the truth, face the mirror, that person staring back at them, that it really was them. They're not crazy about it. And I think that's why they're so defensive, because they're still trying to process it. They haven't fully processed it. From the energy I'm picking up on, yeah, they're sad, but you can be sad and angry at the same time, Like it can be a mixture, a combination of the emotions, and that's what I'm getting. There's sadness, but there's still like this regret and defensiveness, where they're not just going to be open and be like, oh, I love you, I want to be with you, that kind of thing. No, I don't see that right now with this. What else are they thinking? What else? Responsibility. So they're kind of trying to focus more on everyday life. I think this is more of a distraction. If I'm being honest with you guys, I don't like this. Like, am I going to post this reading? Yeah, I'm going to post it. But this to me is someone who is very stubborn. I'm getting stubborn. I don't know if it's like Taurus energy, Earth energy. We had a lot of water, a lot Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. But this to me is like you're so avoidant of the truth. You're upset, but yet you're still holding up this wall, between the two of you. They're trying to focus on everything else. And it's like, well, what's the point here? So, yeah, what's the point? What's the end game? What do they want? Because this is the kind of shit that gets old as a reader. Like, it doesn't feel like this person is fully invested in you guys, and you guys deserve better than that. What's the intention then? What is this person's intention? I just don't like it. Like I said, I just don't like it. I mean, And I said it though. I didn't like the first card, the third party. I wasn't crazy about it, so it's not a surprise that I just didn't care for it. Missed opportunity. I didn't act when I should have. And that's going to be the thing. It feels like for some, it might be that your person is just kind of leaving it there. Like, okay, you're going to be the one that got away. That's what it's going to be for some of you. I'm still going to pull another card, don't worry. But going off of this and the energy that we've already been picking up on, it just tells the story of someone just not really ready for love, or it's not enough for them to push forward to do more. But one more card, right? Okay, actually I had 2 cards come out and they're like, no, we're not giving you 1 card. We're going to give you 2 cards. All right. So we have this one, values. So responsibilities, I think that's matching up with what, focusing on their career, even though, yeah, to me, it's an escape. It's an excuse to avoid dealing with you and facing you and owning up to it to another person. It's one thing for them to own it up to themselves, but to actually express that to you, that's hard for them. They're not, and right now they're not going to. So that's that. I love how the spirit just gives us these monkey wrenches and like commitment. I want you to be a part of my future. So for some, it's going to be a step-by-step process. It's not going to be like, oh, boom, commitment. I don't see that. Not from this person. Not from what we're picking up on over here. They are going to have to get over the fact, this regret, this remorse, this sadness. They're going to have to work through that. That's going to be what, their goal is, what they have to do, the steps, figuring out their values. And this can also be their self-worth as well. And seeing you as someone so amazing and special, and especially that you were there for them, but yet they weren't there for you in that same way, and they try to blame you for everything. Oh, it's giving a little bit of a narcissist kind of an energy, which I'm not really too crazy about. So if they are, don't bother. Like, I'm just telling you from personal experience, just let it be and find someone who really deserves you and that you will be happy with. Because this person just, it's going to be a little bit of work, I think. So that's what they need to work through. And then once they work on their self-esteem and who they are and what they are and their career, get things in order, then that step would be commitment. I don't see this happening anytime soon. 2, 3, 4. That might be another confirmation for you guys. I'm going to pull some more tarot cards though. It is so crooked. Please forgive me. But we're going to just do a couple cards to see, well, a few cards. We'll see. What is this person feeling? What are their real feelings? Because right now it just seems like they're more caught up in themselves, to be honest, and thinking about how they messed things up, and now it's been a lost opportunity, a missed opportunity. We have the Ace of Wands. They're feeling, so they're wanting to bring back the spark, wanting to rejuvenate this connection, bring life back into it, and wanting to just start over and bring that excitement. There's a level of anger, though. I don't know what about exactly. Is it about the reality of that they have to face? And I don't know. I don't know. It feels like more so it's anger at themselves. And in order to do, like, to even be with you, even have commitment, they know that they have to work through certain things. So I think it's that reality too of it's not going to be as simple or as easy as it might have been in the past with you, because you have set boundaries and you have, sorry, I'm like thinking, I'm like, you stepped away, like you pulled back your energy. You made it clear to this person, you're not playing. You're not playing with your heart. You're not going to let them play with your heart, and so they're going to have to figure things out. And so it's so funny because we have the Sun. Like, this is so confusing. Your person is very confusing. Very confusing. And I think that's what the anger is, because they can't just walk away. That missed opportunity And even possibly the regret cards can be about someone just completely letting things go. But no, you had to be who you are, the viewer. You had to be who you are, and your person is like, they don't want to let go. You make them so happy. You bring them so much joy, even though through everything that they have experienced emotion-wise, especially the progression, that 4, 5, 6 of cups, how they've been progressing along. You make them feel all of this, and I think that's what drives them crazy and drives them off the wall, because no one else can do that. You have power over this person whether you realize it or not, because like I said, this is a very frustrating spread of cards. It's kind of all over the place. It's this being full of the ego, and then being sad and regretful, remorseful, wanting more, but then also wanting to escape reality. It's a lot of runner energy. It is a lot of runner energy. But then how they're feeling, they want to be with you. They're so attracted to you. They think you're just like the bee's knees. I don't know, that's the whole phrase that came up. You're just so amazing. You light this person's world up like no one else can. And so it's very hard to read this person. And if you haven't been able to read them, girl, same, because it's very confusing. I feel like I keep going back and forth, back and forth. There's a tug of war for between your person's heart and their mind. They know what they feel about you, but you're making them face parts of themselves that they haven't had to face probably ever. And so it goes back to what I say. You have a lot more power over this person than you realize. You affect your person emotionally a lot more than they're revealing to you, than they're showing. They can be the emperor and be as stoic and nonchalant as they want. But man, it's just like they're wrapped around your finger without you even knowing it. And if you knew that, I think that's what scares them. If you knew that, then you would have the remote control to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would have all this power, and that's what scares them. Whether it is that they've experienced that with someone else, and maybe that's why they're so like traumatized by it and don't want to just have that happen again. Maybe it could be. Or they just have that vulnerability, and having someone to have so much control over them scares them. I had 2 cards that just jumped out. We're going to take them. So look at our friend, the Tower. Where are we going to put these? We're going to put these right here. The Tower and the 9 of Wands. I don't remember if in the last reading the Tower came out. It might have. Or it just may have felt like a Tower moment. But what they're feeling, they want, like, they know that, okay, so the Tower is all about like shaky grounds and the building collapsing, the tower collapsing, right? And that's what your person feels. It's almost like, I'm getting the image of, if you've seen the Rider-Waite traditional Tower card, and you see they have like the 2 people kind of falling out of the tower, it kind of feels like that, like before anyone hits the ground. They feel like things are just collapsing in front of their eyes. And I think that's where the anger is, because they don't have any power themselves to stop it. Because it goes back to the third party. They're the reason it started, and it's like they can't clean up their mess. They can't fix it fast enough. They can't repair it fast enough. It drives them, it makes them upset that they can't contain it. And with the 9 of Wands, it's like, even though they're feeling tired, even though they're feeling worn out, I mean, especially these cards with the emotions, that's a lot of emotions to go through right now. I mean, all of it is a lot of emotion to go through, for being honest, because I'm sure it's kind of like whiplash, me going back and forth with the energies of what I'm getting. With the 9 of Wands, so even though they're tired and weary, there's still this desire to start over, and that connects us back to the Ace of Wands. So they feel like, I made this tower fall apart. I made everything, I ruined it. I ruined it all. And I couldn't fix it. I couldn't put it together. Humpty Dumpty could not be put back together again. They couldn't put them together. They couldn't. And so, but it's driving them up, just up the wall. Your person is just, they're all over the place. They want to continue on, but they are having to look in the mirror right now. And this is the part where you just, if you guys are not in contact, don't be. Keep it that way. Because this energy that they're going through, it kind of like, I put my hands here and it's almost like I can feel the energy right here. Like it's just pulsating through. Like it's that heavy and intense. Do not reach out to them. And I'll always be like, I always feel like the masculine, and maybe this is just traditional, but I always feel like the masculine should be chasing the feminine anyways. Right now, this energy, they're not sure. They're, like I said, they're very defensive. And they're sad. They don't want to be bothered. Or like you're just feeling down and that kind of thing. That's what your person is feeling. That's where they're at. And while they might feel this way, all of this is trumping this right now. Because this is stopping this. And it's kind of like the tower moment. They're caught in midair right now as it's all falling apart. Falling apart. Ugh, it's a lot. But if you guys are in communication with this person, give them the space to. Give them the space to. This isn't someone to be pushing. I don't know. If they treat you differently, great. But what's going on beyond the surface, if this resonates, it's heavy. It's heavy. Let them process it because it's a lot. And like I said, you have challenged them in a way that they've never been challenged. And this is all foreign to them. Let them figure it out. And because you can't always rescue everyone, even if you want to be with them. Sometimes, it's like they say, we come into this world alone and we leave it alone. And we all have our own paths and our own journeys to take. This is part of your person. I swear, every time I do this, I just, like the energy, it's like a dome of energy right now. It's like, it's crazy. I'm going to have to make sure to, like sage and stuff after. But yeah, we're going to leave it there. Wow, these readings get crazy. I don't know. They get crazy. I hope they help you guys out, especially if they have been hard to read, like I said. Or at least it prepares you, kind of gives you some advice on what to do, because yeah, it is a lot. So I will leave it there. Comment, like, share, subscribe. And if you do subscribe, click on that bell icon so you get notified when I post another pick a card reading, or any reading. The next one will be a pick a card though for you guys. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.